All right, Snake Charmers, here's an intro to Keynote in a quick and dirty entry. The way that I started working with Keynote is to first design my presentation in Illustrator or InDesign, it doesn't really matter. And so I've got a sequence here, title, second slide, questions is the last slide, and then I've put together thought I centered it here, of things, right? And because I know I can use dissolves or different transitions in Keynote, I know that I'll use the time-based Keynote tools to have this build out, but I need the step-by-step process. So this is how I started working with Keynote. So from Illustrator, I just go to File, Export as, and I can choose either. I'm going to use the artboards, and I'm going to choose either a PNG or a JPEG. It doesn't really matter. Let me go to classwork, persuasion. I'll create a new folder for this. So test images, create, and then just export. 72 pixels per inch, and okay. Now I've got my my artboards here are 1920 by 1080, and if I go to the folder where I exported these, class, test images, I can see that I've got the images, and I can click right through them. So they might not be in the right order, but I can rearrange them in Keynote. Now, if I go to Keynote and create a new file, I have my own themes. I just have like blank pages in here. But if you're just starting from wide, I'll walk through this. Before I built my own templates, I would start this way. I'll choose the white or black presentation, it doesn't matter, in the widescreen format. And then the first thing I would usually do is click on this Edit Master slide, which takes and shows me all of the pain in the ass things I won't use in that are template pages. And so I'm in the master pages. I'm just going to click all of these. Can't select more than one at a time. So blank, choose. So that was just asking me to replace the one that was already on the page. Delete, 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 delete. Blank pages for everyone, no problem. Okay, so now I am back in my presentation. I've exited the master slides. I can zoom out. How do I do this? I do it this way. I just use the quick key commands, but view, zoom out there. This is the key that I used. All right, so I've got my images here, and I can just select each of these and drag them. Well, before I do that, make sure that your show navigator view, I don't know. Make sure this is visible over here. Usually it is, but if not, ask me. And so I'm going to come back over here, select all my images, and just drag them over here into the pages side, right? So that gives me my sequence. These are indented a little bit. I don't need this page anymore. I can delete it. So here's the sequence. I don't know how these still end. Oh, for crying out loud. All right, all of these are going to get a new master slide, and it's going to be blank. And this one can go to hell. Delete. Hate you. Okay. So I've got my presentation, but it's kind of out of order. I just drag the questions to the end. I actually want to start 1, 2, 3, and then bling on the end for 4. So I've got my slides in here, and if I click play, right now I just click right through, and Done. But I can add transitions. So to do that, I make sure I'm selecting a page over here. Whatever page I have selected, when I choose animate, I can apply a transition, and this determines the transition from the page I'm on to the next page. So if I add an effect like dissolve, it will preview for me. It will show me the duration. I usually go about 0.75 or half second. Find that a second and a half is a little slow. 0.5, return, okay. And I can select all of these and do them at the same time. So if I select all of the pages and apply dissolve 0.5, I have to hit return to make sure it happens. Now I can dissolve right through this whole presentation. But there are several other transitions. So just play around with these. Don't yeah, why not? We'll sparkle in. I think this needs to be longer in order for us to see it. Preview. Oh, sorry. Some of them only work with text. So Sparkle only works with text that I've typed in Keynote. Because these are images, it doesn't work. So if you see something like Sparkle down here, oh yeah, it says text effects. But the basic appear and move transitions are here. Another one that I use quite a bit is push. So I will go slower with push depending on what direction it's going. By default it goes right to left, but I can change the direction from bottom to top if I want to give the feeling like I'm scrolling down the page in a presentation. And so I could change this one to push also. Once I've selected a transition, it comes up here in my recent effects, so I don't have to go hunting for it again. Push and bottom to top. Preview. Yep. So there's a little bit about bringing images in and working with transitions in Keynote. Play around with it, but quick way to export images from Illustrator, quick way to place them in Keynote, and then just use the transitions